And what's fascinating is how the marketing plays into that, because if you recall, one of the first like official gameplay trailers of this game shows the scene of the dance with Ellie and Dina's first kiss and
Yeah.
Jesse before the fight breaks out. And they know when you're playing the game, like 99% of the players playing the game have seen that trailer and have already been introduced to these characters in that context. So when you're playing the game, that scene comes way late into it, and it just plays so differently after everything you've been through. Because in the marketing, like that was our introduction to Jesse, and then in the context of the game, he's already dead by that point, and you're like, oh fuck.
Do you think it's a mistake to introduce Abby this soon?
I'm so torn on it. I think this stuff works. So I actually wanted to bring this up and see if we might debate it because I've gone back and forth on it because I don't really know the workaround. Is do you think it was a missed opportunity to not give us, instead of this Abby section, just like a 30 to 45-minute section with Joel and Tommy and then finding Abby and then everything? Would you have preferred that, or do you think they made the right call?
I think I don't think this is bad, but I think it might have been more impactful if we had played as Joel up to his death.
I want to show you something.
So instead of this, you just play as Joel for about 30 to 40 minutes until you get to that scene, and then it switches back to Ellie.
Yeah, it would definitely give you a lot more time to Joel up front.
But I also don't know how hard that would be to program.
Come on, this way.
Well, I would have just basically replaced the sequence with that. And then it's like, oh, there's this character screaming, like, let's go save them, and that's your introduction to Abby, is this stranger that you save, and then everything plays accordingly. I think where they would have run into issues with that is, depending on how you played it, I just find it hard to believe that Joel and Tommy wouldn't be talking about the conversation Joel and Ellie had the prior night, which is the end of the game, and you don't want to spoil that.
Been restless.
You too.
You could easily talk that away as, oh, they're on patrol, they're being focused.
Yeah, and you could allude to it. That's just something I'd like to see in the show that I at least like have always headcanoned, is just that, especially since Tommy's one of the few people who knows the whole story and why Joel and Ellie have their falling out, like, I'm very certain they would have talked about that.
Yes.
At least in the morning. But you're right, they could have found a way to make it vague.
It's not that far.
Yeah.
I think the problem with this prologue with Abby up front is
She'll be fine.
because you have to get all the way to the midpoint in the game to switch perspectives again and then getting Abby's story. If you're gonna play as her up front this early, we should probably be switching back and forth between Abby and Ellie throughout the game, which I know some people would have preferred.
I think what they should have done with this remaster is done more of a director's cut, and maybe offered a more linear mode that kind of changes the pacing to see how that works.
That would be interesting, though I think they have an opportunity to do that with the show, and the game is just structured in terms of gameplay, just the way things escalate and the way items and bosses and stuff work. Like, there is an escalation throughout it. Like, it would make it gameplay-wise very wonky playing it chronologically.
I mean, it would be any different than getting uber-powered as Ellie and then having to start all over as Abby.
True. It's just like, you know, in my opinion, like the birthday sequence, which is my favorite sequence in the game at the museum, if you're playing that super early on, that's a long sequence with like no action. That, granted, I'd probably be fine with doing early on replay, just it definitely wouldn't be how I'd recommend the game to anyone. You know, if they had a chronological option. Like, so I just think it would be a lot more disjointed.
Damn, look at that view.
Have you told anyone else?
Wanted you to see it first.
And yeah, the graphics in this game are just incredible.
Saw an armed patrol go from town.
Definitely some of the best I've ever seen. I still predict, and I could be wrong about this because we have kind of stagnated with graphics just because of how much money and time these take. So probably won't be in a video game, but
Figure it out.
you know that issue people have with the uncanny valley with motion capture and CGI faces. Like
He's in there.
I predict that's there will be something by 2030, probably a
We can
movie
corner one of the
more than a
patrols with
video game,
information
but
and then-
that will have like a CGI person that is like 100% indistinguishable
Yeah.
from a real person.
Sure, they'll be.
Where
So
you just, I think we're getting
Well,
there.
then we make them.
there is a new technology in Unreal Engine 5. The Hellblade 2 is going to ship with it.
So what do you want to do?
That is like a new motion capture thing. I've seen it. It looks amazing.
What is going on with
No,
you?
I need to look into that. Because like,
So
if the
we have not
PlayStation-
hit a. Sorry, go ahead.
If the PlayStation 5 isn't capable of it, the PlayStation 6 definitely will be.
Oh.
But I'm not saying that'll be the norm. It'll be very specific games that have a lot of money
Should I
and
say
time.
congrats?
Because that's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
actually,
crap to
I think it'll
render.
be the opposite. I think it will normalize more motion capture in the industry. Because Unreal Engine
Oh.
5 is the most common engine in the industry. And if you make that technology affordable to any AAA developer, we're going to see more and more motion capture and probably bigger names in video games.
Hey,
Oh, I agree with that. I just meant like the ones that look pitch perfect, like
And then
pure lifelike.
you are right that we have kind of hit a wall with graphics.
launch.
The next upgrade won't be graphically, like image quality. It will be lighting and rendering of light techniques.
That's a good point.
We've already hit that point on PC, and PS5 can do it, just not as well. But there's a technology called ray tracing that offers real-time lighting, and it's a game changer. And then they just introduced a new technology that's kind of like the next step on that, called path tracing. Unfortunately, I don't have a PC that can run it, and it is years away from being the mainstream. But I've seen like pictures of Cyberpunk with path tracing, and it is like night and day. I think the next true innovation to game graphics will be ray tracing becoming the norm. But right now it is too resource intensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe by the PS6 or 7. Is this the way? I also get turned around here, and I don't want to die.
There's a couple of optional paths that lead you to the same area. Yeah, it sucks to die early on when you have to like get through the cutscenes again, unless you're able to skip those.
Now, why would we want to do that?
Now you just turned around. I think.
Yeah, because we need to go up here.
Yeah, I think you're going backwards.
Am I? Hold on.
Yeah, you are several seconds ahead of me, so any gameplay advice I have might not light up.
No, I'm definitely going the right way.
Okay.
Also, being able to go completely prone is a game changer.
Yes.
He got Mel pregnant.
So I don't know if you have this, but I hate Owen. I think he's a little bitch.
You alive?
I like him well enough. I don't think I've thought about like his whole story strong enough to really. I mean, he definitely makes some mistakes.
I don't know. I feel like they didn't put nearly as much effort into her friends as they do like Ellie's group, and
Sure.
it kind of shows. Like Mel is also unbearable.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a little too close to the face.
And like I said, I don't dislike this prologue with Abby. You know, you get some action early on. It's a good little tutorial. It just feels like if you're gonna do that hard switch in perspective halfway through, where we switch from Ellie to Abby, like, you should go all the way. It is a little awkward having like this mini prologue early on, and then having to wait a long time to play as her.
Well, there's a couple of sections where it feels like they were just kind of throwing things at the wall.
Mm. But, and to be clear, to any like detractors of this game, it's, you gotta at least give credit, even if the structure doesn't work to you. Like, my god, the painstaking attention to detail with just what happens, like, or throughout the 3 days of Seattle and how they pair, like, it's insane. Just how many little things there are to keep track of and pay attention to with what Abby and Ellie are doing, like, day
Going
1,
up.
day 2, day 3 in Seattle. Like, it is a massive, intricate game.
My shoulder.
Thank God they can't climb. No.
How do I get out of here?
Probably through the door, you dumb fuck. Wait. Did we miss anything? I feel like there's not a lot of collectibles in this prologue.
Yeah, there's not much.
I don't think so.
Like, they gave you a coin somewhere early on, right?
This is a bad idea, Abby.
I think so. Probably in the next room. I've already gotten all the collectibles, so I'm not.
Like I said, you are several seconds ahead of me.
Yeah,
So
I can see it on OBS. Frickin' lag.
Where's that lookout?
Yeah, so just for anyone who's watching, this is not a by any means a completionist run. I've already done that.
like you got all of the cards and coins and stuff.
Yeah, because I've gotten the platinum for this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just so daunting to me. So, yeah,
I can show you some
We'll
good
get to that
guides.
eventually. Yeah. I think
Bastard.
on my playthrough of the first one, collecting all the comic books, I think I found like 11 of them on my own out of 12, if it was 12. There was like one I missed that I had to look up a gameplay video to find.
Nice. I suck at finding collectibles without a guide.
It's my years of growing up on Lego games that have programmed into me how to look in every corner.
I didn't play a Lego
be
game until
extremely-
I was already I was like 18.
It's gotta be close.
Yeah, those games train you to be extremely thorough.
True. I'm so excited to try that that roguelike mode. The gameplay in this game is so fucking fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm curious who all of the playable characters are, because I think that's a great idea. That's something I would have liked in the first version of the game, but I'm really glad they added.
So what we
Read it.
might do is we might play this for another hour-ish to see how far we get. And then we might do like a round just to see what's open, because I haven't even opened that menu.
Okay.
And it'd be cool to see like what they have available.
I'm aware that you unlock stuff like through playing the story, like certain characters or outfits or weapons or whatever. I believe you unlock some of that stuff like through going through the story.
So I should have everything unlocked then.
That's true, because it loaded all of your.
Yeah, you can port
Progress,
your
right?
save over.
That's
I
extremely
platinumed-
convenient.
I platinumed this game in 20 seconds. I'm just that good. Don't look at my playtime for the PS4 version.
Yeah, when the Part 1 remake came out, I did agree with the detractors to an extent that $70 is probably too much for that. Like, I don't believe that game added enough to justify costing more than what the first version did, especially since the first version had multiplayer and the remake did not. Like, that should have been 60. I don't think that should have been 70. But with this one, it's extremely nice for players that it's only 10 if you already have the original game. Like, that was really cool.
I think the difference between them is one is built from the ground up. Like, they didn't just port over the PS4 assets. They had to make those from scratch. Whereas this is just touching up what was already there.
Yeah, I still just don't believe that Part 1 should have cost more than what that game originally cost. I just don't believe that took more time or money to remake
You'd
than
be
what the
surprised.
original version of the game cost.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And
like you said,
but I also think that's more so. Like, I know this is probably a hot take in the games industry and like amongst the gaming community, but they probably should have raised prices a long time ago with how expensive these are to make.
True. And obviously, it goes without saying that these programmers are extremely underpaid and overworked, and it's a problem that's getting fixed or needs fixing.
That was a little too close for comfort.
I mean, I know GTA 5 is like one of the best-selling games of all time, and that made what, like billions of dollars?
That made billions of dollars because it's microtransactioned out the ass.
Well, that's true. But I still think everyone was gonna buy that game, like, without that stuff.
And it's also been released like 6 times. But no, so like, I don't necessarily disagree that 70 is a lot of money, but I look at it more as we're lucky that the remaster of The Last of Us didn't cost $70 instead of, no, the remake, the ground up remake cost too much.
That's fair. Like I said, I know you didn't care about the multiplayer, and I never played it. I still stand by that price point is more warranted if they brought the multiplayer.
Yeah,
And it really sucks for fans of that multiplayer in hindsight that they didn't include it, since the Last of Us multiplayer game has been scrapped. That is unfortunate. We'll see if they include it with the third game, if they make one. But I'm with you, where, look, if it has to be one thing or the other, single player or multiplayer, obviously I want Naughty Dog to make single player games, so I'm not too upset about it.
Right behind you.
What is this, Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, it's the better one, Red Dead Redemption 1.
With Jesse? No. Been together for so long. Look, Jesse's great. I love his parents. They will
Yeah, the
always be
environments in this
family,
game are
but
just
they
beautiful.
were just on autopilot. Hey, how come we never talked
That's
about
another
this
thing I
before?
want to see in the show, is one of their
I don't know.
movie nights at
Didn't you
Jackson.
feel-
I mean, we actually got one in season 1,
You never really
but
talked to me
I'd
about
love to
that.
see Joel and Ellie watching one of their stupid movies.
There isn't much to talk about.
Yes, I need that in my life.
I got the impression that you didn't really like her. I don't
It
care
would be
about her
great
being
if they wouldn't spend the money for it,
Okay.
but if they could get the rights to play some
I
of
think
Jurassic
she's a
Park
talented artist.
and show them watching it,
Tattoo
since I'll get
artist.
referenced later.
Well, that's so big of you.
What studio owns that movie?
Well, Jurassic
That'd
Park's
be
Universal.
Universal.
Shut up. Okay.
It came to me like as soon as it said, it's like, wait a minute.
You can tie Shimmer up here.
What if they watch like the first Lord of the Rings or something? That'd be funny.
That'd be cool.
Hey. You want to see something spectacular? You're gonna point at your face.
Yeah, what's like an old cheesy action movie?
Nothing is that spectacular,
Like maybe Commando.
brother.
Just Joel and Ellie watching Commando.
Yes.
It's a shame Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson have already been in the show, because obviously in the games they're these stupid, like, made up fictional movies that they're fans of. But imagine if they played one of those movies in the show and they got Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson to like do like some fake movie scenes.
Honestly,
awesome.
I'd be fine if they did that anyway.
Sure.
Who cares?
I think a way to include them in season 2 without being on screen and with Ashley Johnson, it would be a lot more justified just in the context of the show, is if we just got some songs during the end credits of some episodes sung by them. Like maybe songs I haven't heard them sing before. But like if you pick the right episode, Ashley Johnson would make sense since in the context of the show, she's Ellie's mom and was singing to her in one scene. So like I think that would fit beautifully if you just pick the right song in the right episode to like just have Ashley Johnson singing something. But there are also songs that we absolutely need Pedro and Bella singing. Like I'm really hoping we get that scene of Bella singing "Take on Me" in season 2. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
May we all be that sharp at 73. May we all make it to 73.
Like if they got Troy Baker to sing a song, it should probably be something in his normal voice, because if it's like Troy Baker doing his Joel voice singing something in the show, that could be distracting.
Wait.
I'm just like being paranoid and double checking and everything, even though I don't really need to.
Yeah, this game definitely has a pacing issue that the first one doesn't, because there's a lot. I think there's too much looting or opportunities for looting in this game, and it gets kind of boring. But you're also like just too. You're too paranoid. It's like I have to check everything, and boy, it takes a while in some places.
Yeah, that's fair.
On replaying it with the new game plus, it isn't an issue at all because I can just start with everything I unlocked, and it plays way faster. And it's nice to have all those weapons and stuff up front. But on your first playthrough, yeah, it is a bummer when you finally get like a good set of weapons and ammo and stuff, and then it's all taken away from you when we switch to Abby. Like, yeah, that can be frustrating.
No sign of infected or non-infected.
I am surprised they didn't add some of these new gameplay mechanics to the Part 1 remake, like going prone and stuff, but it might have broken the game. Like, I get why they didn't.
It also, I don't know, those mechanics make more sense when you're playing as Ellie and Abby. I don't see Joel as a prone kind of guy.
Yeah, bad knees.
Yeah, he's like 50.
Town up ahead's our last stop. Take a look. I see a strip mall? Oh, with the supermarket? No, town's past that. There's the town.
And this is also why
Thing?
it probably makes sense to not be playing as Joel with Tommy early on, is just because we would probably be in some of the same locations, and you don't want to retread that with Dina and Ellie. But like I said, it could have been nice to get just a little bit more Joel up front. Because I remember on first playthrough when he died, I was just thinking like, we didn't even get one scene with them 4 years later. I would have liked one scene with them. And then I just remember thinking like, God, I hope there's flashbacks. And then there are. And by the end of the game, I was pretty satisfied. You just got to see it through.
Question.
I have to finish the story.
They're clean.
Yep.